Hi everyone, it's 2025. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Christina and we're going to talk about my goals for 2025, specifically my writing and publishing goals. Now, before I go into this, I do want to talk a little bit about my philosophy for goal setting. And that is that most of the time, I set goals that are tangible. I don't make wishes too much when I'm thinking about my goals. So my wish may be I want to get published by the New Yorker, but my goal is to send them a short story every single month or maybe every 3 months or whatever it happens to be. So I tend to make goals that are more tangible and not wishes. And for me, having that attitude makes me feel more productive. If I have these fanciful, high, achieving goals that I really don't have any control over, it's really, really difficult to achieve them. But if you set goals that are within your, something that you're able to do, then it's much easier to achieve them. So, having said that, hi, my name is Christina, and I'm a genre-bending literary writer, and this is my channel where I talk about my writing career, publishing, creativity, and inspiration. So without further ado, let's start off with one of the easier goals that I have, and that is reading. I have not been reading enough books, and part of it is due to these right here, my glasses. I am overdue for an eye doctor exam. And I am now reading progressives. Well, I now have glasses that are progressive glasses also for reading. And they're not the best right now. I think they got calibrated wrong or something. So it has not been really fun for me to read. However, I have discovered the large print section of my library, and so I have been raiding that. But it would be really nice to go back to reading regular print books and, every now and then using a large print book. So that's at the top of my list. As soon as my new health insurance kicks in this month, we will be going to the eye doctor soon. But my goal is that I would like to read 24 books this year, roughly 2 a month. I think that is completely possible. I think that's completely doable. And that would get through a lot of my to-be-read books that are sitting over there and near my bed. I just have way, way too many. So 24 books this year, that's the goal. Second, let's talk about my blog posts. So in this year, in 2024, because it's now 2025, 2024 I actually wrote a lot of blog posts. I think it was 13, and that's a lot for me. Some months I was very active, and some years and some I was not very active. But 2024, I was fairly active. I think it was because I had a lot to talk about with the publishing and the anniversaries of certain writing achievements that I had. So I'd like to continue to be much more consistent on my blog. So my goal is to write 2 blog posts every month, and that would be on the 1st and the 15th of every month. I think that's just the easiest to remember, and that way I can write them ahead of time and schedule them to post, and I don't have to feel like I'm constantly searching for something to write about. I have 2 posts that I will definitely be writing every month. And in conjunction with that, I have decided to start a Substack. Now, as of this filming, I do not have it yet, but I hope to get it set up today on the 1st of January. So maybe by the end of the day, East Coast time, there will be a Substack with at least 1 post on there. But as soon as it's, active, I will put it in the community notes with the link, so that if you want to join Substack, or you want to get the emails to you instead of going to my blog and reading them. I know some people, it's just easier to get an email. You can do that. And it's going to be the same post that is on my blog. So if you're already following my blog, and I know some people are, you don't need to sign up for Substack. If you would rather get it in an email, you can go ahead and sign up for the newsletter through Substack. You don't actually have to join Substack. You just have to go put your email in to my newsletter and it will come to you. So I am not sure yet if I'm going to do an extra post for Substack in order to monetize, but for now it is free. And there will always be a free tier. I'm never going to put everything behind a paywall, especially since it's going to be the same post that's on my blog. So like, why would I charge for something I'm already giving away for free? That doesn't make any sense. So the Substack twice a month and the blog post twice a month will be the same thing. It's just some people might prefer to see it in an email. Some people might prefer just to go to my blog. Just depends on your taste. And thank you in advance if anybody decides to sign up because they see this video. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll have some really fun things to talk about in 2025 with my publishing. So yeah, that's the goal that's basically my nonfiction goals for 2025 in terms of blog posts. The next thing is this channel, YouTube. I enjoy making these videos. I am not monetized yet. However, I would like to be monetized in 2025. But that is a wish. I don't really have control over that. It is you, the audience. So my job is to just keep making videos and be consistent about it. And so that's what I plan on doing. For now, I may scale back and do twice a month. And that's only because of some of the other goals that I have coming down the track. And as much as I would love to keep making videos once a week, it's cutting into my writing time. And in fact, now I should be writing, and I'm not. I'm making a video. So I decided that even though I would love to be monetized, the important thing is the writing. For me, that is top tier. If I am not writing, I don't have anything to talk about with my, videos. And if I don't have anything to talk about with my videos, then I don't make videos. So the writing informs the videos, not the other way around. So I will definitely keep making videos, but I may scale back to like the 1st and the 15th for some months. Other months, I may throw in extra videos, but for sure, I'm going to try and do 2 videos a month. And if I feel like making more, I'll make more. I'll probably try making much shorter videos that are not like 20 minutes. Maybe I'll make some more 5-minute videos. I don't know yet. But right now, I know that the number one thing has to be the fiction writing, and that has been kind of hard to keep up with, and making these videos and learning the editing and all that other stuff. So we're going to aim for 2 videos a month. If we make more, great. Fantastic. Now, let's get into the writing goals. So, smallest writing goal right now is that I have 2 short stories that are almost ready to be sent out for consideration. I talked about this in my 2024 recap, that I had this one story that I was trying to get ready to go out by the 30th of December. And I finished that short story and I'm not happy with it. So I didn't mail it out. And when I went to the website to see if they were going to open up again in January, I realized that that deadline is a rolling deadline. So they will probably be open, maybe after the first week of January or something like that, for consideration for later issues. So I'm going to take that time to write this story the right way. You know what I mean? Not rush it. And that way, when I send it in, I will actually be sending in a story that I feel is the best. Right now, I do not feel like it is the best version. It's almost there, but I've never been somebody who's been super comfortable just pushing out whatever. I really like to be meticulous, take my time, and submit a story that I really believe in. You know, if I don't believe in it, how am I expecting an editor to believe in it? So that story is done, but it needs a little bit more work. So technically, I guess it's not done. Yeah, it's almost done. The second story does need work. It hasn't been looked at all in the past year, and I really do need to take some time and look at that story and change it in the way that I think it should be changed. I know what I want to do to enhance that story. I just haven't had the time to do it. And so, January for sure, those two stories are definitely going to be at the forefront that need to be. Only because I know they're not going to take as much time as this novel that I'm currently working on. So, first up is get these two stories in fighting shape and send them out into the world. Second goal is this novel, which I have not finished. I was hoping to be done by December 31st, but between Christmas and birthdays from family and just the need to rest because I needed a vacation, that book did not get done. It is 2/3 of the way done through this first draft, zero draft, whatever you want to call it, but we're not done yet. So for the first half of the year until June 30th, aside from these two short stories that I'm going to finish and get out the door by the end of January, this novel is going to, I'm going to do my best to give this book its full attention for the first half of this year. I have no other plans, and I know I said that before, you know, I remember that. But I have no other plans to work on anything else. I do have another idea, but that is just going to have to wait because this book needs to get done. So, the first half of the year is devoted to this novel. And I hope by June 30th, I have a draft of this book that I am ready to send out to literary agents. And I hope to traditionally publish this book. I'm not against self-publishing in any way, shape, or form. I consider myself a hybrid writer, but I would like to give some of the work to a publisher. The design of covers and the editing and the formatting and all of that really does take time. And I would rather focus on creating more stuff. It's not so hard when you're self-publishing your short stories. They're not too long. You know, most of my short stories end up being about, I don't know, 8 to 15 pages long. So they're not, you know, all that hard to format and design a cover for and that kind of thing. But a novel that's hundreds of pages, yeah, and then I'd have to, you know, get a developmental editor and do all of that. I'm just not interested in doing that right now. Maybe one day, but right now, no. I'd rather traditionally publish and focus on just creating new stuff. So my goal by June 30th is to have a publishable a draft that I believe in, that I feel comfortable sending out to literary agents. And we'll see how that goes. I don't really have any control over whether or not I get a literary agent, but I do have control over whether or not I create a draft good enough, in my mind at least, to send to literary agents. So that's going to be a busy first half of the year, but I think that's doable. Like I said, I am very close to the end of this first draft, which I'm very happy about. And then I need to, you know, work with the critique group to, you know, get it better. And I'll probably read some of these technique books about writing a book so that I can figure out how to improve the writing, definitely make this novel the best version it can be. I also probably think I'm going to read a couple of things that have inspired the book. I know I haven't really talked about my novel too much, but essentially I was inspired by some love letters that I had read years ago by Elizabeth Barrett Browning and Robert Browning. And So their relationship, which was kind of in secret, was somewhat of the inspiration for this book. I also threw in some biotechnology and sort of the relationship between what we as humans want to evolve into. So it's a little bit science fiction, it's a little bit of a romance, it's a little bit of a family drama, and I'm very excited. It's been, like I said, a long time since I've written something really, really long, had something that was an idea that I really felt could go the distance, and so far this book is really um, holding up its end of the bargain. It is interesting, and I have been able to stick with it. So that's the first half of the year. Second half of the year is this long novella that I wrote last year in 2024. When I workshopped it back in November with my critique group, everybody said this is actually a longer piece, and I agree with them. And I had cut it down to be a longish short story, but it really is much longer. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that it actually might be another novel. It might not even be a novella. And if that's the case, because I'm going to let it be what it wants to be. But if that's the case, then I need to do the same thing that I'm doing for this first novel, is that I need this second novel to be, I need to devote some time, so a big chunk of time to it. So while this first novel is out in submission to literary agents, the second half of the year I'm going to spend writing this book, the second book, as much as I feel like writing. I have no idea how long it's going to be. I don't really have any ideas about how I want to, where I want to stop. Do I want to keep going and try and stretch it into a novel, or is it good as a novella? I really don't know. But the second half of the year is going to be devoted to figuring that out. I do have this idea for another short story, but like I said, that's way in the back. That's way in the back. That may not even get touched until 2026. We'll see. But for right now, the second half of the year is going to be devoted to this other story, this longish short story, novella, whatever. And I probably should give these things nicknames, but I'm worried I won't be I won't be able to remember what they are. So for now, I'm just calling it longish short story. Maybe I shouldn't call it that because I'm a little tongue tied. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not thinking too hard about it. All I know is the second half of the year, I'm definitely going to devote to this because it's an interesting story and it kind of got away from me. And I originally started it thinking it was just going to be a 5,000 word short story, but no, it's more than that. Um, and I'm excited and terrified also because I like short story writing, but it seems like I'm having all these ideas for novels. So I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. But it's daunting. It's daunting. I'm learning that, novels you just need to sit and write day after day after day. And it's been a long time since I've done that. But this 2024 was a good practice for me because I'm writing this first novel and like I said, it's still holding me. So I'm not getting bored yet. I'm not, feeling like, oh, this is stupid, I need to stop. I'm actually just pushing through and trying like heck to get to the end. And probably once I finish this zero draft, I will um, be more excited to go back in and tinker with it and get it to fighting shape. So that's a good 2025. I feel like that's a lot on my plate. The reading, the blog posts slash newsletters from Substack, and the novel, and this longish novel and the videos, is a lot. I feel like this is a lot to put on my plate, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's impossible. It's not like I was saying, oh, in 3 months I'm going to have a book done. No, I'm giving myself 6 months. I think that's very, very doable. Also, don't forget, I do have a day job, so I do need to make time for that. And I do have a life, friends and family, I have to make time for that too. So, and time for myself, and I guess part of that will be the reading. If I commit to reading 2 books every month, then I at least will be able to carve out some reading time. And that in some ways is self-care, because you don't have to worry about the outside world. You're just living in this interior world. And, I've been meaning to read some really good books. So I'm excited about that. And I think that's it. I think I have my paper right here. I think that's all of my goals. Yeah, the short story. Oh, oh yeah. I forgot about that. Okay, so this may happen, this may not happen. This should be like asterisk, bonus. For some reason, I have this idea that I want to do a short story collection, like an actual physical short story collection, like these books right here. My mom said months ago, she said, oh, it's great that you do these ebooks, but I would really like to have a physical book. And I think that I could probably pull together enough short stories to do a small chapbook, a physical version, and an ebook version. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I think it really depends on how this first half of the year goes. But if I was going to do a short story collection, it would be coming out in the summertime. Yep, that's when it would be. But honestly, that is just not a priority. I would love to have my own physical book, and I'm sure I could rope somebody I know into creating a regular book cover. Like, I usually design my own book covers, but I think for a collection, I'd want like a professional book cover person. And I know a couple of people that do that kind of thing. So I probably could take the time to do that, but it's so far down the list of stuff, y'all. It really depends on how this novel goes. If by April I have a really great book that I'm ready to work on and send out to literary agents, I may, take a month and, work on this collection and pull it together. It wouldn't be too hard for me because number one, all the stories are written. All the stories are written. They're not going to change. I would literally just take every short story that's ever been published and short stories that I never published, but or I self-published them, and I would just put it all into one omnibus, of like 10 to 15 short stories. And that wouldn't be too hard to do because I wouldn't have to write anything. It would just be formatting, getting a cover, and then uploading it to Amazon and it used to be CreateSpace, but I don't know what it is now. It would just be those logistical things. It wouldn't be any actual writing. So we'll see. We'll see if I get around to that. It's not a priority, but it is something I would like to do. Short stories are just not a lot of, unless you're really famous, a lot of them are just not being published anymore as collections. That's not really a priority. Novels are the priority and have been for a long time, so it's not like it's a new thing. So if you are a short story writer like I am, you kind of have to DIY it yourself, or you have to get so famous that they will publish your short stories because you have a following. I am not there yet. So if I did it, I would have to be doing it myself. And I'm not mad about that. I like self-publishing. In some ways, it's really, really fun. So anyway, that's it. Those are my goals. Yes, I don't have any more. But those are my goals for 2025. Comment below, what are your writing goals for 2025? Do you have any big ones, or are you just working on one big project, or if you're like me and you're scatterbrained and you have multiple projects, feel free to comment. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button if you like these videos, and I will see you all on the next video. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye.